Street Fighter 4 came out in 2008. I was 9 going on 10 years old, and the only thing I was worried about was the 4th grade. Needless to say, this game flew under my radar for its entire lifespan. From 2008 to 2016, the entire 8-year tenure, I just wasn't there. And it's kind of a shame because everybody who talks about this game, who played this game, it feels like they loved it, you know, for different reasons too. Some of them like the competitive aspect. They love the tournaments and the offline scene. Some of them just love their character or the expression that their character allowed them to have, which is something kind of foreign to me because the newer games aren't like that. Street Fighter V is not like that. Pretty much learn one bread and butter, and that's optimal, and you do that over and over again. There's no one-frame links or anything like that, or things that are hard to combo into each other, I guess you would say. Even the just frame inputs, like on Karen's Tenko, is super lenient. You get 3 frames to input that. It's not truly a just frame. And I don't even know if I'd want that in a game like this, but I'd like to have experienced it. One way you could put it is, I guess there was just more of a skill gap in execution in Street Fighter 4 than there is in Street Fighter 5. Pretty much anybody can do any combo as long as they're willing to lab it out. But from what I understand, some combos in Street Fighter 4 were so difficult that you could lab for a long time. You could lab for hours on end and just never hit it. Kind of like Brian's taunt jet upper in Tekken. You know, you see people sit there for hours and hours and days and they can never do it. But the part that I feel like makes me feel the most nostalgic for a time that I never even knew, I never even experienced, is watching these old like videos of tournaments and Evo finals and all of these iconic moments that this game has spawned. Like Alex Valle beating Bon Chan, there's Infiltration versus PR Rog where he picks a Khan, and then the really famous one where Momochi's stick dies during Evo Grand Finals. And the thing about every clip that I see from that game is the crowd is almost as invested as the players. Like, they truly just love the game. And it seems like whenever there's a big match going on, people from other games show up to watch. Like, people who don't even play Street Fighter. And that doesn't seem as common with Street Fighter 5, if I'm being honest. Like, there's not a lot of people who don't play the game, who see it, and they say, oh, this looks hype, I'm going to watch it. And I personally feel like this is in part due to the V-trigger system. It's supposed to be this hype mechanic that allows you to come back and, I guess, gets the spectators excited to watch, but it's so strong that it dilutes any comeback that like happens, especially on characters whose V-triggers just give them damage, like Laura, or V-triggers that are very strong like G. They get the shit beat out of them, they pop V-trigger, and they're back in the game. And it's like the crowd is supposed to be hype about this. Like, this guy's just losing, and then he gets a second chance. And it can happen every round, sometimes twice a round. Why are comebacks even a thing to be excited about? It's almost expected. And this is kind of where my knowledge of Street Fighter 4 starts to fail me, because I do know there is a comeback mechanic in that game. I think it's the Ultra. But I have no gauge of knowing how strong those were. I know some of them are really strong, like Elena's, where she could heal, and like Blanca's, I think, was really good. But outside of those two, I don't really know how prevalent that mechanic was in the game, so let me know in the comments down below. But overall, I just really feel like I missed out on an era. Somebody told me the other day, like, I wish you were there to play Street Fighter 4 with everybody, because it's just an era that you missed out on, and I don't know if it'll ever be like that again. And every region, especially here in Texas, you always hear stories about these players in Street Fighter 4 who were super good at this character, or people liked playing this guy because he was good at this character, or some people were just good at the game and they won a bunch of tournaments around the country. But to me, these players are just urban legends. I'll never get to see them in their prime, and a lot of them I'll never get to meet because they just don't play anymore. You sort of have to relive those moments or those glory days through replays of other people. And I think the fighting game community, especially at a local level, is very interesting. I like to see the past of these people that I'm meeting and these people that I haven't met yet. And so I'll go watch those replays. I'll watch when they won a tournament or when they went to a major and played on main stage, because I'm genuinely just curious. Just curious about an era that I happen to miss out on. And now all I can pretty much do is hope that in these past 6 years, Capcom has learned from the blunder that was the launch of Street Fighter V and come out of the gate swinging with Street Fighter 6 and hopefully revitalize the scene and bring some people in who might have left after Street Fighter 4. Let me know some of your favorite Street Fighter 4 moments down in the comments below, and I'll talk to you again next time. Hope you enjoyed this one.